Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I didn't know what I was gonna do today. I didn't know what video I was gonna report. I didn't know if I was gonna do an Uber story or tell y'all about the story about my coworker when I worked at the school bus. So I think I'm gonna tell y'all the school bus one and I'll do the Uber story. I don't know which one y'all gonna get, but right now, if you clicked on it, then you know this story is about the time my coworker got into it with a student on the bus. Like, he physically put his hands on the student.
Know what I'm talking about, babe? Yeah. Now it's time for me to...
If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new and you've been on this channel, on this side of YouTube, on this good side of YouTube, then hey, welcome back, guys. I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much. I thank y'all so much for sticking with me on this journey. Thank you so much for liking the video, commenting, and just showing me so much love and support. I appreciate y'all so much. I don't want to keep going and rambling because y'all know I will keep talking about whatever. But if you haven't already gotten your drink, got your snack, got your herbal essence, you know how to do, how we do, and just, yeah, we about to get into the video, so get your stuff. Yeah, come on back.
2 shots of vodka.
Okay, y'all, I feel like I'm so close, but I don't care. You know, I'm hot right now. I need to cut the heater off because I'm getting hot. So I'm gonna do this real quick so I can get up. But yeah, I'm tired. I'm a little bit like trying to get back into the groove of this. So anyway, let me tell y'all about the time. So if you don't know, I drive for a whole lot of places. And one of the places I drove for was the school district. So I drove school buses in one point in my driving career. So at this point, this was my first year driving. So my first year driving, and the person, like, so when you go through like your little orientation? Yeah, it was orientation. You know, orientation, you meet people or whatever, and you click with who you click with. So it was an older guy that was working there and started the same time I started. And me and him just kind of like connected. So he probably, because I was 29. I was 29 at this time, and he probably was like 40. I'm gonna say 40. So he could have been like 40 or 38. He was older than me anyway. And like I said, we had connected. So like we was talking about like driving stuff and different things like that, like where we used to work at, things like that, whatever. Like, so we had built like this like friendship and stuff. So as the school year had progressed, we got so close that we would just go to lunch together. And I told y'all stories. I don't know what story it is about the school, but I don't remember. If I remember the story, I'll put it down below. But I used to always go eat lunch with my coworkers. This is still around that time, but this is before I was like eating with a lot of people. In the beginning of my school bus driving, like job time, I don't know how to say the shit. I was really close with him, and we're gonna name him Fred. I don't know, that name just popped in my head. That's not his name, but we're gonna name him Fred. So me and Fred was like super close, and we used to go eat lunch together all the time. And when we go eat lunch, we would talk about like our kids. I had just had a baby. My daughter was barely 1 year old. So I had just had my daughter. I had a 3-year-old, well, 4 at the time. So I had my 4-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old daughter. And he was telling me about his kids. He was telling me about his wife. I was telling him about, you know, my husband. We were just talking about like life, family stuff, like why we started working here. Then we like the job, the kids, we were talking about just normal, regular, everyday stuff. The schools that we picked up at, the kids on the bus, and all of that stuff. So as time went on, he was never like an aggressive type of person, like not even in like talking about his family or like in everyday like regular like life, like when we walk, when we talk with coworkers or anything. Like like you kind of can tell like a guy who is aggressive and a guy who is more like docile. Is that the right? Like he's just more laid back in the cut. He don't be on all that. He don't need attention. He ain't up in everybody's face. He just sitting back. He just do his thing. Sometimes I would take a nap and he would come wake me up and be like, come on, Joe, let's go to lunch. Cause I would come back so early and I would just take like an hour and a half nap. Like I would go find a table in another room and I'd be in that sleep. And he'd come in there and come wake me up and come on, let's go to lunch. Get up. You didn't sleep long. Come on. You can sleep when we get back. So he was like really nice, cool. So I knew that it's a lot of women that work at the job and stuff. So women talk, gossip, nosy, know everything. So naturally they all thought that me and him had something going on. It was nothing like that. He was just really nice, really cool. Oh, and he also was like a youth pastor. Like is that what it is? He was a pastor for like the kids. So he would tell me about that. He would tell me a whole bunch of stuff. And I think that they thought something because he wasn't open with other people. He just started like I did. We ain't know nobody. So we just knew each other. We just knew we both was new. We had similar things in common. And we just would talk about like our family stuff. And we go eat lunch or whatever. So, and come back and then, whatever. So we would eat lunch. Like this was every day. Like, one thing that I'm normally like a person of like routine sometimes, but I also do different stuff too. Like I'm spontaneous and a routine type of person, if that makes sense. Like, so like I can do the same thing every day, but I also will jump and do something different. You'd be like, what the hell? She didn't change. I would do that too. You'll never know. Like I just switch up stuff. So me and him would go to lunch every single day. Like it was like routine. Like if I'm asleep, he'll come wake me up. If I wasn't asleep, he'll be waiting on me and be like, come on, let's go. I already knew we're gonna go eat lunch every day. So I know he was telling me like he was having like some issues with like not his like in his personal stuff, like not I don't know, because his job, I don't know, it was like financial stuff, but like I said, he wasn't an aggressive person. So it was like he was like telling me like what he got going on, but like not, but like he was kind of like, I don't know, like defeated, if that makes sense. Like he was feeling like he was doing a whole lot of things, but nothing was kind of like happening for him, but he was trying to like suppress it. That's what I think I'm saying it right, but I don't know if I'm saying it right. I don't know. But anyway, he was telling me like stuff. So I feel like he had like built up tension. He just wasn't showing it. So I didn't see him for like a couple of days. So, and it wasn't just me. It was other people too that was like, they ain't seen him. And they was asking me like, hey, where's Joe? Have you seen Fred? Because everybody call me Joe. They're like, Joe, where's Fred? Have you seen Fred? I'm like, nah. They're like, somebody been doing his route. So they had like a sub driver doing his route. So I'm like, I don't know. So I'm like, and then I didn't have Fred's personal number. I didn't have Fred's number. I ain't talked to Fred outside of work. I only talked to Fred at work only. He had a wife. I had a husband. And it's just strictly work. And we go eat lunch and talk about like, our regular everyday life, kids, stuff like that. Like I told y'all, it was nothing more than that. He never hit on me, never tried to talk to me, never did nothing. He would buy my lunch one day, I'd buy his lunch the next day. It was like that. We just had that mutual understanding. That's just what we did. So when I ain't see him, it was kind of weird. So I was like, I don't know, maybe he called in. That's what I thought. I was like, maybe he called in. I don't know. He called in. I was like, maybe he called in. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. So somebody else asked me, another girl asked me, and I knew this lady had a crush on Fred. So I'm thinking she asking me because she liked Fred, but whatever. She be asking me like, Fred got a wife. She be asking me like little stuff like that. Fred got a girlfriend, like asking me little stuff. So I'm thinking she coming to ask me that, but she was just like, I haven't seen Fred. Have you seen Fred? So-and-so been doing his route and he been gone. This is his third day. And I noticed too, like, I ain't seen him. So I want to say like that Friday, one of them drivers had said that Fred had assaulted a kid, like got into a physical, like he was beating the brakes off this kid. So the little story is that Fred was driving and I guess he had a bad school. I'm assuming it was a middle school because it wasn't high school. Most of the bad schools was middle school kids. So the story was that Fred had a bad route. I knew Fred had trouble with the kids on the bus, but Fred never said that he would go off. He just tell the kids sit down, or I'm gonna take you back to the school or something like that. Well, I don't know if Fred was fed up, or if his personal stuff at his home and his life was just a lot. And you never know what people going through. People be going through things and they could take it out on you. You just never know. So they said what I heard from one of the drivers that found out from, I guess, a supervisor, because like I said, everybody talk. It's a lot of women that work at our job, so you gonna find out what you need to find out. So they said that they saw on the camera Fred was having verbal words with a student, well, a male student. And I guess the student was cussing at him and talking crazy to him. And some people just they ain't gonna sit down and just take that. They gonna go off on you. So they said Fred had said some stuff back to the kid and started cussing the kid back out. And all of a sudden, Fred just started, he grabbed the kid up and the kid started hitting him. He started hitting the kid, and they was fighting on the bus. And they got zero tolerance for that. So because Fred started hitting the kid and was fighting the kid in his own camera, it's like 9 cameras on the bus, on the school buses, but it's cameras on the outside of the bus and cameras on the inside of the bus. So they can see everything and they can hear it because it has sound as well. So you can hear everything on the bus. So he was fighting the kid, and they said that they did an investigation and they ended up terminating him because, it's a zero tolerance. You can't hit the kids. And they was also saying like they didn't want media to find out because the parents was, upset about it. So they were like, it's cameras, so that the media, whatever. So Fred had got fired, and a lot of people was asking me like, has Fred ever told you anything or let you know anything about? So supposedly, also, I didn't know this because like I told y'all, I didn't talk to him about none of that stuff. Like we just talked about like regular everyday stuff, like, how your kids, how your wife, whatever. And sometimes he would like say, like, tell me like, he going through like a little hardship, but he getting through it since he got this job. Tell me about church, all the stuff. Well, also I had found out that Fred was like, I guess talking to a lady that worked up there and was sneaking around on his wife. I'm not surprised though, but I was just more shocked because I never would have thought that from him, because he was such a nice, sweet person. He never gave you like them type of, he never gave me them type of, like I never seen him in nobody's face. I never seen him talk. Never seen him do anything besides just come into work and drive and then, talk to me. We go eat, we come back, and that's it. Like most of the time he would sit, like after we come back from lunch, we either sit at the same table and he watching, like they used to have the stories on, all the like soap opera stories. He'll sit there and watch like the soap opera stories. And then I'd be playing cards. I told you I had learned how to play spades at that job. So I'd be playing spades. So he never gave me that type of energy. So when I found out that he hit a kid, I was shocked. That he had a fight, I was shocked. But I wasn't surprised because he was doing middle school, and them kids are horrible, bad. And then I was surprised because they said that he was talking to this lady. But then again, that could have just been a rumor and not nothing to that, because they thought I was talking to him and I wasn't doing nothing with him. So that could not be nothing. But anyway, I'll tell y'all this added little story. So this is the second little story in the story with the school. Y'all, I had this lady had called the news on me, called I think it was channel 11 or channel 2 news on me, took a picture of me on the bus. Like I was driving the school bus, right? I was in a predominantly white area. So this is my route. I would pick these kids up at this area like this, multi-million-dollar houses and stuff, right? She said that I was speeding my bus through that neighborhood. She said I was going 50 miles an hour. I don't know how she determined that I was going 50. She said I was going 50 miles an hour. She took a picture of my bus. She took a full picture of my bus. So I'm like, how she took a picture of my bus if I was going 50 miles an hour? Because if you go fast like that, don't the bus be blurry? But anyway, listen. She said I was going 50 miles an hour, right? She said that I always speed through there. it's kids walking and all of this. So remember I told y'all it's cameras on the bus, right? It's cameras on the bus. They can see your camera. They can see what you're doing. They can see how fast you're going. They can see your speed. So even if you not driving it, they have a like this thing on it. I don't know what it's called, but it tracks your speed even after you're done driving for the day. Like it tells you how fast you're going and all of this stuff. All they have to do is like a timestamp or something like that, and they can see how fast you're going. I don't know, but my boss was telling me that. I already knew that though. My boss is like real high up in that company. Like she's like a top dog. She wasn't just over us. She was over like a lot of the barns too. But then she had, anyway, it don't matter. She was top dog. Been working for this. She's been working for HISD for a long time. She called me in there, right? This is my second year working there. So I already worked there for 1 year. This is my second year. So I already knew I had it down packed, like what I was doing. She was like, Jolanda, I just want to ask you a question. She was like, you pick up at such and such time at the school, right? And I said, yeah. She was like, you ever have any issues with people? I was like, no. She's like, nobody ever say anything to you when you driving out there? Like come up to your bus or say nothing? I was like, no. She said, well, you was going to be on the news. And I was like, what? Why? How am I going to be on the news? Nobody ain't talk to me. I don't know nothing. I don't know. She was like, well, luckily I had pool at the news station. She was like, I know somebody that work up there I'm real good friends with. She was like, and they contacted me before they had put it on the news. She said he asked me to check it out first before he make it a news, before he put it out on the news. So he was like, just check everything, make sure everything's straight. If it ain't, it's like, we're going to put it on the news. But he was like, if it is, we ain't going to put it on the news. But I want to let you know, giving you a heads up. Check with your driver first. I'm like, oh. So she was like, so supposedly you got a complaint from this lady. She said you be speeding through the neighborhood doing about 50 miles. She's like, you blow through stop signs. You don't let the kids cross. I'm like, what? Now this is outrageous. Like this is like outrageous. So she was like, but what saved you? She said, because word, we just going off of what she's saying, but she said what saved you and what this lady don't understand is that we can track everything you're doing. First of all, it's cameras. We can see everything you're doing. She was like, two, when I checked the times, the time the picture was taken and what the lady was saying, she said, you were doing 15 miles an hour. I said, I could have told you that. It's so tight. You can't even speed through that. It's so tight. Like it's parents coming from each direction. So the bus is literally driving down the middle of the street. Two, people walking and it's crossing guards everywhere. It's crossing guards. This is a predominantly white area. If you know, them people don't play about when it's schools in the area. You better not speed through none of them areas. There's going to be cops around the corner waiting on you to go. If you go 1 mile over the school, the speed limit, y'all, if you don't know, in Texas, they going to fire your ass up and you finna pay that ticket. Ain't no defensive driving, ain't none of that. You finna pay that ticket for whoever it is, not just me, a regular person. You gonna pay that ticket. So I was like, first of all, I'm in a bus with kids. Two, I'm picking up. I'm not just driving through. I'm picking up at the school. So I have to go slow. Then three, I said, it's crossing cars at every stop sign. How I'm blowing through a stop sign. She was like, oh, what's the picture of it too? A picture of your bus, but it ain't a picture of you drive. It's a picture like a side, like you got your bus number, everything, your everything, showing everything. She was like, I just wanted to ask you. She was like, girl, he not gonna post it because after I told him everything, she was like, I just want to give you a heads up and let you know that you was gonna be on the news if everything was what the lady said. She was like, she just probably don't want buses in the neighborhood and there's nothing she can do about that because it's a school in the neighborhood and you gotta go in there and you have to pick up. She was like, but just be aware that she's watching. And I said, I can't go fast anyway, and I'm aware of everybody around me, but just telling me to be aware of her. She comes to the bus, I'll just call you if she ever walk up to the bus or would have any issues. But I ain't never see this person. I ain't never seen this lady. I don't even know what she looked like. All I know is that she called the news. She didn't even call the school, the bus barn and complain. She called the news channel, sent them a picture and it said all this stuff. But see, my boss had knew somebody up there, so that worked out. But anyway, yeah, so you got this far in the story, whatever. Okay, thank y'all so much. I wasn't trying to make this long. I'm trying to make it short and sweet. But yeah, he got fired. The coworker got fired because he beat the kid up. Like, he gave the kid a whooping. I don't know what the kid said to him. He was cussing him out, and they start swinging on each other, and it was over with. And I ain't see him ever again. Never seen him again. He was out of there. But yeah, that's it, and that's all. I hope you guys like the story. And continue to watch my videos. I wasn't trying to be all over the place. I was trying to keep it strictly on to the point, but sometimes I got to give y'all a little bit of back so you can understand what I'm trying to tell you, instead of just telling you and then it's just a 2-minute story. So if you like these videos, you like my vibe, you like me, whatever, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in my next upload. Also, I'm going live. I already said it in my other video, but I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna leave it in the community tab, 10 or 11 p.m. It's gonna be either 11 Standard, Eastern Standard, or it's gonna be 12 Eastern Standard, but it's gonna be between 10 and 11 Central Time. If you in Texas, you know, then you know. But anyway, I'll see you guys in my next one. And till then, bye guys.